first, I'm going to just review our Trello page because we haven't looked at it in a while. And I might need to update it just a touch. So I've got a currently working on section now for our Trello page, guys, and I pop in there anything that we're currently doing on streams. I'm thinking of archiving this one, because removing it, because I don't think we need that one. It's extra stuff there that all it says is fix bugs in Lightfall and Everbloom Forest, tidy up UI and add small improvements, and to be honest we'll be always doing that. So I'm going to get rid of that one because I'd rather put things on our Trello that we like doing something a little bit more specific rather than just fix bugs or add improvements. Because it can get a bit like whoa when you start getting a really long list, it gets overwhelming, so it's nice to actually just keep it a little bit shorter. So yes, we have been tidying up the Lightfall and Everbloom Forest maps, as well as changing the way they're going to work a little bit in game. They're back to tile sets now rather than parallax maps, and I think that's a really cool decision. I'm really happy with that. And we've been doing Lore Bible stuff as well, but I've been neglecting that side of things lately because I want to make sure, prioritise the mapping and getting that new updated map ready, because we can't really progress or do any of the other stuff when that's still unfinished. You know, the map's like literally everything. The map is the whole world. But we're coming up to the extra details now on it. We've been working on the flowers. I've kind of cracked it with the flowers now. They're not all done, by the way, because that's going to be time consuming getting them all over the forest. But I kind of like how they visually look now and how they're placed. Took a bit of messing about, but it's done now. And then there's the extra stuff that goes on the cliffs to make it even more awesome and foresty like. But I was thinking of going back to the Lore Bible stuff at some point, because we are nearing the end of this now. I can't see us working on the mapping much longer than next week, because we are coming towards the end. My goal was to get the map done for Saturday so I could show the sort of process, the evolution in GIF form from the map at the start to the end. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh my god. Did I put it on mute in time? I was like really rushing to mute it there. Oh my gosh. Sneezes. That's what happens to me in the summer spring seasons, because I get hay fever. I get a bit watery eyed and a little bit snivelly. I think I did mute that in time, so I was like, sneeze is coming. Sometimes it just comes out and you can't control it. Rose, you tease. Hi, the one, how you doing? What is the most evil character in the game? In our game, Raindrop Chronicles, it's the one. Well, we have a few antagonists on our list so far. If we're looking at our section, we do have an antagonist section. We are kind of going to rearrange how that's done actually, though. We're going to categorise NPCs by type rather than if they're an ally or antagonist or minor or major. We're going to scrap minor NPC and just stick these guys with the rest, and we're going to categorise them into types rather than because although I'd say, like, of course, maybe they are an antagonist or ally, especially when we first meet them. Some might even be neutral. That development, that arc might change throughout the course of the game for some characters, and especially because this is a choice-based game with a lot of branches. Certain paths might make antagonists allies and vice versa. So I don't know if categorising them as that is going to kind of work, which is why we're going to switch to types. But as for most evil, well, I guess that's subjective. We even have some fruit characters in our game that are absolutely adorable, but some of them are quite evil. Some of them are quite evil. But it's going to be a world of shades of greys, you know, like some people are going to be, of course, very evil, but I always think it's cool to have a sort of believable motive rather than just evil for the sake of evil, if that makes any sense. I've just never been a very black and white person. So of course, naturally, our game is likely going to go into a shades of grey world sort of direction, me being the creator and stuff. But yeah, feel free to have a look through our profiles if you're curious about the characters. The Discord is currently the place to go, but eventually it'll be the Lore Bible, because everything's going to be on there. Also, the website at the moment does have the character sheets on there if you click on them, but they won't be up on there much longer, because the character section of the website is going to get scrapped in place of having it all in one place on the Lore Bible, just for more organisation, so everything's not just all over the place. It makes it easier to manage the website a bit better that way, not having to update all the time. No, I'm not a potato Dan, she said the P word. Yeah, I don't condone it though, Ultimac. I believe Lalafels deserve better than such a name. Just so you know, I back the Lalafels. I'm fond of them. So you'll never get me calling you a potato. I promise. Okay, guys, so back to the Trello. Right, so yeah, we might revisit Lore Bible stuff next week because we do need to get those profiles all put in there. I'm going to be doing a picture game submission at the end of August. It's sort of this platform thing where indies can promote our game. So the goal is to make sure by that point everybody's profiles are done. That's the target. So, because I think it'll just look cooler if everyone's profiles are all in one place by that point, if anyone looks and gets curious. And as of course the level design mapping, I think, yeah, we'll probably need a little bit of extra time, but we are getting towards the tidying up and the finalising stage of this mapping. And then once we've really, because these are our priorities, that's what we'll be doing, going between the two, and once they're done we'll be going back to this stuff and we'll be working on some of these again, finalising the fruit boss, and the scene that comes after that, and then really there'll be just a bit of tidying up to do with other parts that we've done before that might need a little bit of a tidying up before we move on to the new content. It's going to be fun times. Horrible Hog, thank you for that follow. I like your name. But hogs are cute, not horrible, but I do like that it's an alliteration. So it's a nice name. Also, there might be a bit of, I don't know if you guys can hear it, because sometimes I don't know if my mic picks it up or not, but unfortunately there is a lot of construction work in my area at the moment. It's there all the time, basically, and I think it's because it's the summer months, everybody is in lockdown and no work, and they're just at home getting bored and doing construction, and it's a bit annoying, but what can you do? You just have to put up with it and try your best to ignore it. So if you ever do hear any lawn mowers or drills or anything like that, that's what it is. If you hear any weird noises in the background, but usually it's a lot worse for me than it is for you guys. It's usually louder for me than it is for you guys on the stream. Can't hear it, Rose, on my headset there. That's great. That's really encouraging, at least, because it's worse for me. I'm like, oh my goodness, it must be really, really loud on the stream. But usually that's not the case. I will put details on Discord, but RPG Maker game I want to create as a project will be based on my kitty's backstory. Oh, that sounds really cute. I'd love to read more about it. That sounds lovely. And battle mechanics, always fun. Haven't even touched that in my project. I'm really hoping everything improved on its balancing. VX Ace was great, but the RNG was off-putting at times. Ooh, yes, I'm still very new and learning myself, because because we're so early on in the development, I haven't really had a chance to get properly experience myself. We've kind of we're on the first boss, aren't we? And we've done some of the trash, like easy enemies that you go through to get to the boss. So I've had a bit of a play around with it, but I'm still learning a lot. We're still very early on, even though we're in the hundreds now. We're coming towards our 200 stream probably soon. Even though we look like we've done a lot, we really haven't, because this is the nature of this project. I kind of really try and pace myself, like, so I don't get overwhelmed or burnt out. I think that's very important when you're doing a very ongoing long-term project. After all, I want to be doing this, will be something, if I'm planning ideally to be doing for a number of years. So realistically, you have to take your sweet time if you're not going to get overwhelmed and burnt out. So yeah, 200 streams. We've not really done much, but we're getting there. Like, it's hard to predict how many streams we'll have done by the time episode 1 comes out, but I kind of see it as we're sort of halfway through episode 1's development, but that's just an estimate, because it could be more. You know, when you get the problems, when you start doing the testing and you think, oh, actually this is going to take another 50 streams to get right, that we could always come across a hurdle like that as well. So let's catch up with chat then. Do you have any ice levels in your game? Not yet, Yorkshire, because one thing we do in our project as well is make sure that when we create an area of a map, which is what I have been doing, guys, if we go and go back in TileD, so this is Everbloom Forest, guys. We've been working on improving it and making it all pretty. One thing I've like told myself is that we're going to spend time here. We're going to take a lot. We're going to enjoy the area. We're going to spend time in this zone, build the world around it, create a bit of lore, make it memorable, get to know the NPCs here. We're not going to just go there and walk through and then leave and go to the next place. So all of episode 1 is going to be based here in this foresty zone. So no, there hasn't been any other areas yet, apart from a farm, sort of flatland farm area that was in a character's flashback. That is one different zone we have seen, because it was in a flashback, and we may likely move there and see it when we leave this place in the present day. So yes, the intentions are to have a big world, big world with lots of different biomes. Ice would be fantastic. You know, we want to make the most of lots of different maps and have a different world, lots of different themes. And but it's going to take time. We're not going to just rush the world and make a desert, an ice place, a mountain area, etc., just for the sake of even though it's very exciting. I want to I think about that all the time, making all these different areas, but I don't want to get carried away. We want to take our time and work on what we've got as well. And hey, good luck with the game. I appreciate Passionate Devin. Thank you so much, Horrible Hog. I'm going to call you Hog, not Horrible, just because I think that's cute. And that's an absolutely adorable emote. Is that a piece of toast? How cute. And I'm a little bit slow catching up with chat, guys, so bear with me. I can go off on one sometimes when I talk about things. See, your game is so famous, there is already a spin-off. Yeah. And is this your first project, Rose? Well, not, I mean, it's a kind of difficult question to ask, because I have been sort of dabbling in video games since I've been like 5 years old, but I've never released a product. I did attempt to do one in 2015 with somebody else, and it got like press attention and stuff on some decent like media outlets. Rock Paper Shotgun was one of them. Cockatoo was the other. I think that's the one. But the project got cancelled, so not for my reason. It wasn't my decision. No, I wanted to carry on, but the other person didn't. Unfortunately, I needed them. So that got cancelled, and eventually, well, I decided to do Raindrop Chronicles, and that's what we're doing now. So yeah, although I haven't released anything, got nothing on the market yet, this will be my first official product when episode 1 comes out. It has been a big interest of mine most of my life, and I started using RPG Maker back in the year 2000. So one of the very early ones, RPG Maker 2000, was my first one, and yeah, they were terrible because I was a child. So, but it was a lot of fun still, and the interest was always there. And hi Kappa Man, how you doing? Welcome back to the stream, by the way, with those cutie pie frogs. And right, I will be back in a bit, the office sorting some things today, but heading back to the house now. I'll be back once I'm home. Yay! We'll look forward to you being back, Asriel. Very cool. Yay! So yeah, I'm very excited to be making a world with lots of different environments. I mean, we have a rough map draft. Let me get it up, because if you guys go on the website, I'm sure most of you might have had a peek, because I kind of put a lot of attention on the website and the stream title and on the banner and everything. It's in need of a bit of an update. It's currently in the process of it. We recently added the FAQ page, but there's more to come. And this world map is going to get put on the Lore Bible instead as well soon. And it's just a rough draft of a world map at the moment, but I wanted some visual there. So Lakefall and Everbloom Forest is all we have, but there's potential for many, many other regions, of course, as we go through the development of this project, and it's going to be exciting. And there's no rush. Like, we're not going to be creating our next one until episode 1's finished. Part of me kind of at the moment is seeing it as a zone per episode, because we're going to take our sweet time in each region of the game. You see, it's not going to be like a traditional JRPG in that you just walk through an area, fight some enemies and a boss, and then that's it, you're on to the next place. I'm going to try and make it a little bit more immersive than that, where we can actually spend time in a place, do side quests, and get to know the NPCs. They have their arcs and stuff, and there's lore around the place. I want each of these places we visit to be stuck in our memory for years to come, and also because I spent a lot of time doing the mapping, so that's another reason we want to enjoy and take our time in an area. So yeah, there might be a decent amount of hours of gameplay in Lakefall and Everbloom Forest. Hard to say now an amount of hours just yet, but there might be, several hours or more in this area. We'll see. Okay, so yes, I think we're all right with our Trello for now. We're still currently working on those, and we'll be back to this next. We'll be focusing on a couple of those things next. So yes, another mapping improvement stream today. Don't know how much longer we'll be doing it for. We might still have another one of those next week, depending on how things go. But we might also, like I said, revisit the Lore Bible stuff as well next week. That is very likely. So I'm gonna actually close down the Trello now. And we will go back to our mapping. For RPG Maker, as you said earlier, especially if your first RM project as a developer from 3 other games, make battle mechanics your last step when everything else is put into play. It's a lot of balancing and slide testing from start to finish, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask anytime. The project is coming along nicely. I think that's a fair point to make, to be honest, because I'm not going to lie, the battle system stuff seems to be the sucker of time. That's what takes the time for me more than doing the cutscenes and the mapping and the dialogue parts, for sure, because it's much more technical. Got to think more. I'm not a natural at that sort of thing either. My sort of comfort zone is more in the story, characters, dialogue, cutscene, mapping side of things rather than the battle system, just because I'm not really a maths kind of person or any of that thing. So I'm more of a creative. But we have, like, I think it's a good idea from how I'm seeing it to have something there, but you don't have to like expect it to be completely workable, and that's kind of what I'm going to go for. As long as there's battles there, it doesn't matter if they're a little bit rough around the edges right now for a first playable build when I finally get it out there. And it can be sort of smoothed over, like improved, balanced and smoothed throughout episode 1's development. That's kind of how we'll probably do it, to be honest. So I'm definitely not gonna expect perfection in regards to that side of things straight away. But I like to have something there just so we can see it in action, so we don't get any nasty surprises. And then have to completely change things at the end. So that's Australia. What's Australia? It does look like it. Does it? Oh, the map looked like Australia. That's funny, because I actually had no intention of it looking like Australia. I randomly just did squiggles around the edges. So, but that map, it might not be it's a work in progress map, so that's what it looks like right now. But it might, regions might change shape and position, and the world itself will probably change shape as well, as we add more zones, because it's impossible to know at this point what shape it's going to be, really. But I just liked something being there. And Kip, thank you so much for that follow. Welcome to the stream. Did you create the art, and if so, did you do it with any experience? There's an FAQ page, Socialist, on our website, so feel free to look, because that is actually a question on the FAQ, and it's quite a detailed answer as well, because it's not a simple answer. It's a common one that I get asked, understandably so, especially when I do mapping streams. I think I've got a command for it, actually. So really that's the answer there. So but yes, this is a long project. Like, take away all the art, imagine the game without the art for a sec. It'll probably take many years of development without the art, just doing the cutscenes, the story, the world building, the writing, the battle mechanics, the gameplay. All that in itself will take several years or more. So with the art added on top of that, you're gonna triple, quadruple the development time. So I'm 31 now, I'd probably be 71 by the time we finish this game if I was doing the art. It's not realistic. You can't spread yourself in too many parts of the work of the project. You have to kind of think, okay, so what resources am I gonna use that others have already done to make this development time a little bit easier on myself? And art is definitely one of them. I mean, I can't say I don't do any of the art, because I did these flowers myself last night, but I'm not gonna do all the art because it's too much. But if I feel like actually there's no assets for this and I really want to have this in the game, then I'll do it. The main characters in the game, the barrels, all the sentient object characters, I are like 95% original. So yeah, created by moi. So, and thanks, yay! Hi Stiff, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Welcome to the stream, guys. Lovely to meet you all. But yeah, so the original flowers of this map actually look like this. These are the default ones in RPG Maker MV. So they're very common flowers. everybody sees these everywhere. So I started thinking I don't want to use the flowers that you know, are default. So I've ended up finding, let's have a more neutral colour for the background. I ended up finding some flowers online by an artist called Hanzo. And originally they looked a little bit different to this. Let's find them. Yeah, originally they looked like this, and I took them and recoloured them. And I actually created those ones myself. I took the bunches, the green leaves, and sort of wanted to resemble these, and they're a little bit different. I still might make a bit of edits, because the good thing about tiles is you're not committed to having the arts stuck like that, like the Parallax PMG maps. Once you've done them, I can just be like, actually I want to change the outline of this a bit, I want to make it a bit darker or lighter, or the shape, and that's fine. And then it updates everything as our for tile sets. So we actually decided to match the flowers with our fruit characters as well. So because I'm silly and like to do stuff like that. There's absolutely no reason for it, but I was like, what colours should these be? And I thought, yeah, let's just match them to the fruit characters. It could be a little Easter egg. Hi Steve, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. That is a cute emote. You guys, everybody that comes in here has really cute emotes, you know. I approve. Okay, so last stream, yeah, I was figuring out what flowers to use and how to make them look visually. And it took a bit of time, a bit of messing around to get them looking quite right. I mixed them up with bushes and pebbles and stuff like that, just to break things up a little bit. And in game it looks actually even better, because we have a God Ray plugin where a sort of sunbeam comes down on the screen, and that lighting looks really nice against the flowers and everything as well. So if we get RPG Makeup, is it up? Yes. So I'm going to do a quick test play, and there might be a tiny bit of lag, by the way, because I am doing a lot on my computer right now. I'm streaming in 1080p and recording a video at the same time, and got a lot of apps up, so sometimes there is lag, but it should be a little bit better than it used to be. Now we're not using the memory hoggers of parallax mapping. Also, this is a test project, by the way, so we don't have our fancy tile screen up at the moment. And also we can walk over water and everything at the moment, because we haven't done the collisions. So that is something that's going to have to be done on this new map. We did it for the old map, but things are handled a little bit differently in TileD when it comes to collision, and it's a bit of a learning curve. There has to be a ladder here, by the way. That's something we need to add. Good morning, hi Van, how are you doing? It's good to see you. And hi Illuminated Space. I hope you're doing well today. My mate is not cute, but I love it anyway. Well, let's have a look. I think that's cute. It's a little, it looks like a little like muck slime or something, and it's got a face, and the face is cute to me. So, but I always tend to like the not so cute creatures for some reason. Probably because they don't get enough love and need love. You know, everything needs love. And Stiff, I'm very jealous of that cat emote with the cake, because I don't think I ever got that one when it was it the Christmas emotes last year? I remember lurking in a ton of streams just so I could get it, and I never got it. I want it so much. Are there flying kittens? Nope. But talking about flying things and wildlife. We definitely need wildlife in the Everbloom Forest at some point, because it's empty of creatures and nature. So at some point, that will probably be something we'll add as well. So it's a mashup between Muck and Mr. Mime. It's dastardly. I thought it was Muck. I saw it and I thought, yeah, that's Muck, isn't it? It was the Christmas one. It's like the cutest emote on Twitch for sure. And how are you doing, Van? It's good to see you today. I hope you're having a good Friday. So yes, it's going okay, and we're getting there with how it's going, but there's still a few extra finishing touches to add. I mean, I've only added the flowers so far to 2 of the cliff tops. These 2, we've got all of these to do as well. Oh my goodness. So it's a big job, it's a time consuming job, but I didn't want to do all of that until I was happy with how it looked visually, at least, and got that. And I think it's getting there a bit now. We got some vines to add on our cliffs, because if we look at our old map, we have these vines, and in parts they're very cut off. We don't want to have something like this, how our old map had it. We want it to blend better. The reason it looked like that on our old map is because we used to have our map split into rectangles, and this was the cut-off point of that map, you see. And that's why it's like that. But now we've put all the rectangles together for one big map, one big seamless map. And there's a little bit of a problem with certain areas like that now, so we will have to make up for that and probably just make sure we have the vines blend a bit better. So I am getting a bit of lag, guys, and I expected that because I've got about a bazillion programs open at the moment. So we'll bear with TileD a bit. Also, TileD takes up a lot of the RAM, I think. I'm not sure if it's RAM it takes up or the other thing. I know it takes up a lot anyway. So since using TileD, it has sometimes got a bit laggy, but it's worth it because it's a brilliant program, and also it's very warm. There we go. I think we're getting there now. I think my computer's doing okay. Hope so. Okay. Might have crashed actually. We've got a not responding thing in the corner, so let's just wait a bit. Only red pandas can rival kittens. Red pandas are cute as well. All animals are cute. Working on a video for a client, so working and lurking as usual. You're the best fan. Appreciate the lurks. Yeah, I have all the Christmas, Valentine's and the Pride emotes from this year. I managed to get all the Pride ones, and I was really happy about that because I wasn't sure whether I'd get them all in time, but I did, which was cool because there's some really cute ones in there. The penguin one's my faves. These penguin ones right here, where are they? Okay, so we got a few things to do. We got to get the rest of the flowers down, we've got to get the vines down, and the other thing are these little cliffs, which I think look pretty gross, I have to say. I did this back when oh my goodness, it was a very early stream and it was very rushed. And now I look back on it today and I think, whoa, that needs improving. I like how it looks visually, like I love the little cliff rocks jutting out, but it just looks manky and really, you know, the look of it needs tidying up a bit. So that is something we're going to do too. So small cliff rocks, vines and flowers. And then there's like a ton of like small details, like the cave hole in the wall, for example, that we'll need to do. The windows, doors and signs on the lake for buildings is another. And also things like just extra little touches around lakefall, like all this extra stuff here that we haven't put down. So that's it's kind of the last job, doing all those extra finishing touches, and that will be something we do once we've done the flowers, the vines and the small cliff rocks. So we're making good progress, guys. It was always going to be a time consuming task to redo this map because it's such a detailed map with a lot of layers. And at some point we will have to do the edges of the map as well, or even new rectangles, but that's not priority right now. Obviously we're still working on the current content, but when we do test plays, we might see, when we get to the edges of some maps right now, we might just see green grass. So that's something we'll have to do at some point, even if it's just the edges for now and not the full map, not a full rectangle. Yeah, I love penguins. They're adorable. I'm very fond of penguins and sea animals in general. I was watching YouTube videos of seals the other day. So cute. Just making a wooden version of all my weapons for visual equipment, so I'm listening away as I spray. Oh, that's awesome. Holder. Is that the plugin where if you equip a weapon, you can actually physically see it in battle? I remember trying it. If it's the same one, I mean, it might be a better one now, but a while back when I was looking for a visual equipment plugin, I had troubles with it, but that's probably because I have a custom hero. The custom hero changes his looks depending on who you have, and I was after a plugin that overlays the weapon on any character no matter what they're like, because that would have solved the issue then, having a custom hero and holding his weapon. But I managed to figure a way around, and I ended up just using a bunch of conditional branches and doing it in a common event. And it was very time consuming to do it that way, but it works. So I went for the long, slow process of doing it that way rather than plug-in. Birds are funny too. Birds are cute. I like their beaks. Don't think it's the same. It's for my templates. Oh, cool. Well, I'd love to see. As always, Holder is a very good artist. Everyone who's hanging out here today, if you didn't know, does very good artwork for RPG Maker games. It'll be like that, an overlay. Cool. What to think? Right, so question is what we're going to do first, because there's a lot of bits and bobs to do. We can get all the flowers down. Now that's going to be a tedious task. We can get the vines down, or we can do the rocks. I think we need to do the vines before we do the rocks though. Let's do the vines first, and then we might go back to the flowers later. I actually started doing them because I wanted to test how they looked. So we've got a couple here. We need to make a layer for those. One thing I observed as well, I looked at the memory of how much this file takes so far. Even though it's got a ton of layers, it still is only half the size of what just one parallax map rectangle was. So like what you see here with Lakefall, just that as a parallax map would be double the memory of what this is. So it feels like a good decision. And what makes the memory increase, because I was testing it, is more layers. It seems every time you add a new layer, it goes up a bit in memory, the tile, because it's a JSON file. So if we want to be super like sensible about it, we could even merge some of these layers together so it takes up even less memory. But we'd want to make sure, because certain things have to be on separate layers, otherwise it'd mess the map up. Good morning, how's it going? It looks really pretty. Thank you, Raider. We're making progress now. As you can see, it's all coming together, and we're on the extra detail side of things now, such as all the finishing touches that make the forest look a little bit more lived in, like the forest has been there a while. So the flowers and the vines and all that sort of thing. Because it's called the Everbloom Forest at the end of the day. There's going to be lore for why there's flowers. Fables Games, thank you for the follow. Welcome to stream. It's good to meet you. Hope you're doing well today. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday as well, everybody. Okay, so vines. Now, I'm not going to do them exactly the same as they were on the old map because, as I said, some of them look a bit messy where the cut-off point was on the old map, so we might find we'll arrange them a little bit differently. How are you doing though, Ray? I hope you're having a good Friday. So vines, here we go. So something like that could work, and they work at the bottom quite well. They blend in there, but I think we could also put them a bit higher and look okay as well, without looking like a massive line is there, because I softened the edge a bit. I got the brush and softened it, because originally, I don't think it's there anymore, but originally the edge was very sharp, and I thought, yeah, let's soften it a bit, because if we want to put the vine a little bit further up the cliff, then it'll look okay like that then. But we've only got 2 at the moment. We're going to have more variety than that. I'm going to be putting all the trees and flora and vines and all that all on the same tile sheet. So keep it all organised that way. I also found a really cool tile sheet on RPG Maker forums that I think would be really good for some parts of Everbloom Forest. Like these bits here will be really good in the part with Rose in the cabin, I thought. So at some point I'm going to do an improvement of the interior of Rose's cabin as well, where she's captured. Because those assets will work great for that, because it's meant to be a really old kind of messy cabin. Look, there's cardboard boxes. They're like big woodies, big mouldy woodies. Carol could look at those and like muse over them, and the hero could be like, why are you looking at that cardboard box? And we know that it's because of Woody. Well, I suppose the hero would as well if she's told in the flashback at that point. So this is the PSD file of our old Everbloom Forest map, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just steal the vines from here. So yeah, let's just hide everything, because I really like the vines we use, and I want to use the same ones. Look how many there are. So I'm going to copy and paste these vines, soften the edges of them so they're not as like blunt, and then we'll be able to put them wherever we want. Hi Fables, hello there. Twitch recommended the channel and the stream looks good. Oh, that's great, it got recommended. Well, it's always nice to know, actually. I'm glad you say it's, because it's nice to know where you guys find me for sure. I'm always curious whether it's the science and technology category or Twitch recommendations or anything else. So thanks for letting me know, Fables, and it's good to have you here. We're pretty much RPG geeks here. We're lore geeks. We enjoy rambles about RPGs and creating characters and lore and world building, and I'm making a game, and you guys sort of help me shape it. throughout the whole development really. It's fun, it's a lot of fun. And hi Mr. Muffles, how are you doing? Good to see you too. Thank you for all the follows, guys. My goodness, it's going to be crazy with the follows the last couple of streams, and I appreciate it tons. I'm glad you guys like my streams. Can't you just rotate them? Some of them have pointy ends on the top. Oh, you know what? I have something very interesting to say. Something I forgot to mention, actually. And I was racking my brain around it forever. What Radu just said reminded me of it. My goodness. Okay, so I've got a confession to make. Last night, I spent about 5 hours trying to fix a bug in TileD. And I was thinking, what is going on? I just couldn't understand why there was a bug. I'd put all the flowers down, and every time I did a play test in RPG Maker, I'd get this pop-up come up saying something like, I didn't get what it was talking about anyway, and I was like trying to figure out what the bug was, and I'm a genius because I did it. I figured out the bug, and I never would have done it if it wasn't for me slowly like going back in the history and doing play tests. Well, the bug was flipping things and rotating them doesn't work. What it is, the plugin must not be compatible with RPG Maker when you do that. It works in TileD, of course, because what we got to realise is TileD isn't made for RPG Maker. TileD is a completely separate program. But what happened is a couple of the RPG Maker members of the community decided to make TileD a plugin with it so that people like me could create more ambitious tile sets and make them work in RPG Maker. So I'm very grateful for that. Super grateful. Like, my goodness me, words can't express. But certain things that we're limited with certain things, like there's a couple of things I've realised don't work. Flipping and rotating things is one of them. There was another thing as well. Oh yes, opacity is another thing that doesn't work. If you try and make something a little bit see-through on the map, that doesn't work either in RPG Maker. So you'd have to do that manually or work around that in Photoshop when you're editing things. Because this here that you see, this faded cliff, that isn't done with opacity, that is actually done in Photoshop manually. I did that. So I'm just very glad I figured out that the flipped tiles were the reason for the bug, because I would have never have ever in a million years thought that was the bug if I didn't narrow it down to what the problem was. I went back in the history to when I started flipping tiles, flipping these flowers, and that was when the bug happened. And I was like, holy crap, the flipping, that's what it is. And as soon as I put them back to normal, it was working again. So yeah, it just isn't compatible. And it didn't actually say that on the plugin notes that, oh, make sure you don't flip things. It didn't say that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have ever done it. But it was interesting, and I'm very glad I worked that out. LOL, rip. I was very proud of myself, though, I have to say, because it took a long time. Like, I would have done way more flowers last night if it wasn't for that bug. I would have probably filled most of the forest by now with flowers, but it was 5 hours of racking my brain around thinking, what is going on? And I was I made it my mission to find out, because I knew it was going to be something stupid. So yeah, for that reason we can't flip and rotate things, which isn't the end of the world in all honesty, because there's an easy solution to things like that. You either just don't flip rotate things, or you just do the rotated version in your tile sheet. But there's always a way around, and using an extra couple of tiles in a tile sheet isn't the end of the world. It doesn't take up much memory. We are allowed unlimited tile sheets in this program as well, and RPG Maker allows that too with the plugin. but it's probably smarter not to get carried away with tile sheets and have too many. I can't see me using more than what RPG Maker uses up by default up though anyway, so I think we're all good. I love TileD really does help. That's flipping awful. That's a good pun. I like it. Flipping awful. And Cyber, welcome to the stream. Thank you for following. And hi Vagabond, how are you doing today? You can also do extra elements via events and eventing and sprite sheets. It's really easy to get any special cases handled. Yeah, in TileD, if that's what you mean. I heard that. I heard you can actually do events in here. I think though, I might stick to RPG Maker for now, just because I'm a bit nervous about doing that. I saw someone on the forums say that them starting doing eventing within TileD messed up certain plugins for them, and I don't know whether, you know, sometimes maybe that, you know, might have been their fault for why that happened, but it still makes me a bit wary. So I might stick to RPG Maker for events just for that. The only issue is, of course, you get this, you don't see the map in the background. But to be honest, I'll probably just roughly do little marks to kind of mark where the tree is in Lakefall. I'll do like landmark things, and I'm going to be using region, these region square things as well. So that will probably help too. Meaning RPG Maker, anything that doesn't come through via tile can be in an event, in Sprite, in RM. Also, I'm doing great. I had a lovely stream last night and enjoying some games this morning. Awesome. I'm glad you had a good stream. What games are you playing? Also, that's cool. I'm going to actually copy and paste what you say because my brain is sort of not working. And I want to make sure I understand that when I read it properly later, because I think that'd be a useful tip. And if you need to make some marks for simplicity, just make a temporary parallax so you can see where you need to put a vent. That's also clever too, because yeah, and of course we wouldn't want the parallax there when we're doing the actual game, but having it there temporarily is quite smart actually, and then getting rid of it, just because it could be a complete pain, couldn't it? I'm thinking, oh my goodness, where's this going? Take you an hour to figure out the placement or something. So yeah, it would be pretty easier to do that. Okay, so let's do vines, everybody. So yeah, we can't get attached to flipping and rotating anymore. Luckily I wasn't attached to that anyway. I was avoiding using it. But I did use it for some of the flowers, and that's what caused the bug. So yes, definitely need to see what you're doing. 10 parallax is the way to go. So you've used TileD yourself then, Vagabond? Do you have a, because I'm still very new to TileD. I'm like getting my feet wet with it, like if I've been using it for a week. And I'm very happy about it so far. Apart from that small bug I ran into, I'm very happy about it, and I'm just glad it was an easy fix. It could have been something much worse. I was worried that it was going to be a deal breaker, that bug, but thankfully it wasn't. Don't use TileD at all. I do everything via full parallax and event in RPG Maker. Much prefer the non-tiled style I can get via Photoshop that way. Oh, cool. So you did it how we used to do it then. And yeah, parallax definitely has its advantages. And that is ultimately why I did parallax in the first place, because the tiles just felt very limited, and I liked the freedom that doing it in Photoshop gave me. And it's literally just for map expansion and having lots, like slightly larger maps without the fade in transfer all the time was the main reason for my switch. So it's what works for you and your project, isn't it? Everybody has like a vision, and sometimes TileD works for some, and sometimes parallax works for others. Doing the overlays for above character events is a little annoying, but I like the lighting more, though tiles are way more efficient. Yeah. For sure. I think they've both got their pros and cons, and it's about which one is the best for each developer. And yeah, some might work better than others. Parallax for some, TileD for others. Alright, so I'd started putting these down, but we need more vines. I don't just want those two. So we got a lot here. We got a few different vines. So I'm going to just copy and paste all the different ones. Put them on our new tile sheet. We'll go from top to bottom, I think. Because it's hard to know which ones are the different ones. But these ones are all different. We got some green, some brown, and some red. Dava, thank you so much for the host. How are you doing, Dava? Happy Friday. Always lovely to see you stop by, Dava. It's bright and early for you, I'm assuming. Yeah, we've already put that one in. Put that one in. Did we put that red one in? Yeah, we put that red one in as well. There's probably not as many vines as there look to be. Yeah, we put that one in too. I really love these big ones here, but because they've got such blunt edges, I don't know if they're going to be workable on our new style of map. Now we don't have separate maps, but I'm going to have it anyway, because there might be a point where we could add that. We can always like soften the edges as well, and it might actually work. We'll see. Hey Rose, how's it going? Not too bad, Dover. We started this map, we started redoing Neverbloom Forest, improving it and switching to tile set last week, and we're already like on the extra fine detail stage, like the vines now, and I'm quite happy about that, especially because I encountered a nasty bug last night which delayed me a lot. We're making decent progress, so yay. Hope it's all good for you, Dava. How is your Friday? You like my accent? Thank you, Muffles. I appreciate the compliment. I'm from the middle of England, so not the south and not the north. Guessing the east? Oh, you would have guessed the east, yeah. I'm a little bit more middle than the east. Slap bang in the middle, kind of. Not exactly though. I managed to escape my bed and warm up some leftover soup. Oh, yummy. So you're having soup today instead of coffee then? Or you want a coffee break, Dava? I had a latte this morning and it was lovely. So I think that's the vine we haven't got in yet. I want to make sure that we don't miss any of them because I like the variety of the different vines. But there's not loads, I don't think. I think we've nearly got all the ones that we have. I think that's a slightly different red one. I'm just going to get them. Oh no, already copied and pasted that one. I'm from the middle too, and I don't have as good an accent. We've all got good accents. I mean, I really think it's a cool thing how Britain has so much diversity. And you know what? It's really nice to know that you guys think I've got a nice accent, because we're kind of the area that I'm from, or the roundabout area I'm from, we always get made fun of for our accent by the locals. When I say locals, I mean the other people from the UK. Like, we're apparently the common muck of the UK, and it's like kind of like, no, we're not common muck. It's like, I don't like the snobbery with accents by some people, because there's nothing wrong with, like, we got to appreciate the diversity. It's a beautiful thing, all the different accents in our country, and we're not stupid or dumb just because we speak a certain way. I don't like that sort of judgment at all. What do you mean instead? Oh, so you still had the coffee then? I see. I thought something was very strange, if not. And Xavier, thank you so much for that follow. Xavier, that's it. I hope I pronounced that right. And hi Andy Cake, how are you doing? It's good to see you. I'm sure your accent's great, Fables. I'm lifting them up a bit, because if we put them right to the edge, they're not positioned where they should be. If I position them like that, they fall nicely at the bottom of the cliff, so we'll have them there. Xavier is correct. Yay, I got it right. I think I said it right the second time, not the first. So welcome to the stream, it's good to meet you. Hope you're having a good Friday. So, new people. So anyone who's new hanging out, feel free to tell us a bit about yourself, what your favourite RPG is, and all that kind of thing. It's always good to get to know new faces. Makes me happy. I'm setting a good example for pronouncing these van names. Dava, Xavier. Yeah, it rhymes. We've got a Xavier and a Dava now. My goodness, well spotted, because I wouldn't have realised that. What are the characters on the bottom? Oh, these guys here are people who are lurking and chatting in the stream, who are a character in our game. Because when you get enough raindrops in the stream, which is our stream currency, you get the option to be a character in the game, and all that information is on the website, so feel free to have a look if you're interested. 1,000 rain. Did I say 100 or that? I always say 100 instead of 1,000 sometimes, and it's a bad habit of mine, but it's there on the command anyway. 1,000 raindrops is quite a lot, but it's a nice reward for the folks, you know, they've spent a lot of time in the stream and want to have something special of themselves put into the game. I might have enough. Yeah, and you're very welcome to fill in the forms if you have got the 1,000 on the website, but just so you're aware, guys, the forms will be having a do-over at some point this month. Before the end of the month, we're kind of scrapping minor NPC, and we're just going to have just NPC. At the moment, it's major and minor NPC, as well as playable character. But we're going to be merging minor and major NPC into just NPC. And then you'll just have the choice of whether you want to be an NPC or a playable character. But for anyone that does fill in the forms between then and now, we'll just adjust your character to how it's going to change, like we have for the current ones, because we've still got like about 28 in the game at the moment. I think it might be a bit more. I think it's around 28 characters that we've got, community characters in the game. We've just had to sort of adjust them a touch based on what they filled in previously. NPCs from now on are just going to be categorized as types rather than major or minor. So, for example, there'll be a citizen, a noble, a leader, a warrior, like a category of that form. Because I think presented in the Lore Bible in that format in the folders, it'll be a lot more tidier and a lot easier to take everybody in. Because as we get more and more over time, we don't want to have just a big list of NPCs we don't know anything about. So categorizing them into types is pretty cool, I think. Slowly moving up the board, yay! My goodness, nearly 2k raindrops there, Van, as well. And Andy Cake's got over 3k, which is not a surprise considering Andy Cake's known me since I was a baby. Baby streamer, that is, not an actual baby. Oh. And I'd love to be an NPC that follows the leader. Yeah, there's flexibility there with what you can be there. You basically have the freedom in what you want to be and who you want to create. I've got to put a note on the Lore Bible on profiles that certain characters, like there might be an opportunity that we have to adjust lore if necessary, if something clashes, for example. But if we can, we'll stick and be as loyal to the vision as possible. It would only be during certain circumstances we'd have to adjust. But even then, even if we had to adjust someone's character slightly, we'd still at least try and match the vision as much as possible. But sometimes that's always a possibility. Someone can create a character that could clash massively with the lore. But that's a problem. A bridge we cross if we ever got to it. How do I have a character without having 1,000 raindrops? You ask. We don't talk about that. And NPC that follows the bad guy leader or the good guy. I know, right? It's gonna be exciting because with NPCs, like I especially like that we're scrapping major and minor and we're just having NPC now, because it's a lot easier to digest just NPC, more simple and sweeter. And with NPCs you can have loads, like in RPGs there's always so many NPCs, villages, cities are populated with them, and Lakefall itself is going to have about a dozen NPCs, and most of the Lakefall NPCs aren't even going to be community character NPCs, they're just created by us in the stream, a lot of the characters. But if there's ever an opportunity to insert a community NPC in there, if the character fits with the game, then we do it with what's currently happening. So really it's like, you know, there's never ever too many NPCs because they'll always populate. You know, you need someone to populate your world. As for playable characters, there probably is more of a limit on those, but we're going to approach it a bit like games like Valkyria Chronicles and Chrono Cross, where there are lots of playable characters and choice. There's not just 8 like in Final Fantasy, there's like potentially dozens of playable characters along the journey that you can have to play as, because we'll have like a party picker kind of like feature where in battle, so you can choose which ones you want, and I think that'd be fun. And we've got lots of cool classes, jobs that are still up for grabs that people haven't picked yet, so it's very exciting. And I'm sure over the course of development that'll all get used up. And there's no rush because we're going to be here for years, guys. So, you know, we don't want all those purple classes gone overnight after all. And is there any that we haven't got yet? I'm going to zoom out a bit. Because I don't think we've got that one. It's nice to have some smaller vines as well. Yeah, we might have them all now. I think I'm good with what we've got anyway. I think that's probably plenty. And enough variety. So, oh, we missed one. There's one more I want now that I forgot to grab. I've just realised this one here. And I still don't know if we're going to use these big wide vines yet. There might not be a spot for them. It's very it's difficult when we're not going to have a map edge anymore, because we're doing this the new way. We're not using parallax maps anymore. We don't even have to have an edge of a map anymore, because it's going to be a big seamless world. I say that, but obviously there's an edge of a map, but we're gonna give you the illusion that there's not. Like on the map edges, we'll just make a bunch of unpassable cliffs or oceans, lakes. But I kind of like the approach of wherever you can walk, you can go. And we won't have invisible walls or anything like that, like grass areas that you just can't walk to. I feel like that could really enhance the immersion. I think that makes things fun. I'm personally fond of that. So, okay, so let's try there. I don't know if that is exact, but we can always adjust if necessary. Let's put that in the background for now. Sometimes it can be a bit of a pain to see the transparency. Hello, hi Binary and hi Sort. How are you doing, guys? Only my second day here, but happy to be back, and we're happy to have you come back. Always lovely to see someone hang out with us again. So I hope you're having a good Friday, Binary and Sorter. How are things going for you both? Hope you're doing well. We're putting the extra finishing details to our forest now. If you've been here, guys, if you've been here the last week or so, you'll know that we've been improving our map, our big Everbloom Forest map, which is the current zone of the game, the first area that you're going to see when you play the game, and really the whole area of episode 1 it's going to be. So I recently made the decision to improve the maps, not only improve them visually a little bit, but also change from parallax maps to tile sets again. And thank goodness there's a program out there that allows unlimited tile set layers. Not that we'll ever have like bazillions of layers, because that would be a recipe for disaster with memory, but it's nice to know that we can have more than 2 layers, because RPG Maker MB only allows 2. It feels like it only allowed 2 anyway. Because every time in RPG Maker Tileset Editor I tried to overlap trees with mountains or trees with flowers, oh my goodness, it'd just delete what was behind it, and that was very frustrating. So this is why TileD is a blessing to me, because I can create my tile sets without that worry now. Things are going super well, super busy, but calling it a day, so I managed to catch a stream. Yay! Well, it's lovely to see you, Binary. How's your doggo doing? I hope he's doing well, that cutie pie. And I hope that you get to have a nice relaxing weekend to make up for the busyness. What program are you using now? This is a program called TileD, guys. I'll put the name in chat. That's how it is. I think it's TileD with a capital D. I think it is. I'll feel silly if it's not now. But it's a program that's separate from RPG Maker that a couple of community members made a plugin for to make it compatible with RPG Maker. And there's definitely a bit of a learning curve, and what you see in the background right now is actually Photoshop, but this is TileD. There's a bit of a learning curve, and there's still going to be a learning curve for me when I learn how to do like collision, because of course we we need to make sure you can't walk across the water or mountains, because at the moment, as things stand, you can actually walk across the map, everything on the map. So I've got to get my head around collisions, and that might take a weekend or so to do. But before we jump into that, I'm going to make sure the map's finished first. It's going to be fun. I'm excited because it's really opened up a lot for our game. I think it's going to pay off doing it this way now. Because originally, this was the edge of Lakefall, guys. Like what you see here, you would like fade. The map would fade to black, and after a couple of seconds, it would transport to say here. But now we don't have that. You can just walk across the whole thing, so be quite nice. Well, this is beautiful. What's beautiful? And Sally is doing well. She had an early morning work too. Too hot to walk now. I know, right? My goodness, my bangs are messy today because it's so hot, and who cares, right? The heat messes with bangs, that's the fact. So and the collisions on my last tile-based game, I used a layer and just drew squares on every tile I couldn't walk on. Didn't walk for everything, no. Oh, really? That's interesting. For the parallax maps, I sort of we used regions in RPG Maker to do it, like little squares in a way, and I just plopped red squares over the map for where you couldn't walk, and that was really nice and easy. It was a really nice solution for parallax maps to do it that way, and I'm assuming it's going to be a little bit trickier with tiles. I'm prepared for a bit of a learning curve. This land is beautiful. Oh, you think our map's beautiful? Thank you. Appreciate that. Dear Diary, today I learned that heat messes with bangs. It does. But I love my bangs. I'm not going to grow them out because I really like them. How long is that bridge? It's pretty long. You know, it's pretty long. The citizens, the villagers, the Lakefall need their protection. They feel that their bridge will stop intruders coming in. Well, you know, they're prepared more for bad guys and bandits when they see them coming across the bridge, at least. But they're silly, aren't they? Because there's still cliffs here that people can just drop down if they want. Their bridge is silly. I mean, it's the behind them and round the sides that they need to worry about, I think. But it's pretty. It's still pretty with a waterfall. Good morning. Hi, Muffin Man. So how are you doing? It's good to see you. Happy Friday, Muffin. My problem I ran into was where you wanted to walk on a tile for specific directions only. Also, I didn't use RPG Maker. Oh, what do you use, Fables? Yeah, there's always problems, isn't there? It's one of those joys about game dev. An epic name for a bridge. Epic Bridge. That's an epic bridge name. David came up with a really interesting suggestion for the name of our world as well. What was it again? It's Raindrop backwards. That's the way I remember it. So that's going to be going on our poll when we do it, because eventually we're going to have a poll, guys, of community suggestions for the name of our world. And obviously, the more it connects with the world building and lore we're doing, then the better, ideally. But not necessarily. We can just have a super pretty name of a world with no relevance to the lore if we want. But because that's going to be a big thing. We haven't got the name of the world yet. We'll need that for sure. And I'll create the poll, of course. Any names that the community give that sound like good ones, I will have for the poll, and then at some point we'll do it. Not sure when, but at some point. We've only got Davis so far, but when it comes to names of the world, as long as we're not copying an existing game copyright, we're good. We don't want copyright, so we don't want to get sued. We don't want to get sued, guys. So, but if there's a beautiful original name, then yes, we will add it to the poll. Pordner. That's it. I love it. Just because I just really like the sound of it, and I love how it's raindrop backwards. There's just something about that. So that's a definite one for our poll. Definite one that's going to go on. Rim Sky, Unity. Oh, thank you for the suggestions, Fable. So, we might have to shortlist them at a certain point. Because our polls in Discord only allow 10. But we'll get them all in first. We're not going to be doing it anytime soon, but the poll, but maybe in the next few weeks, several weeks we will. And in the meantime, I might randomly mention it in chat and we'll get suggestions said by you guys. Rim Sky, oh, is it? Cheeky. Bethesda might be on to me for that one. Okay. I thought that was familiar. I was like, Rim Sky? Now, where have I heard that one before? Okay, so vines. Did we do them? Did we save the Photoshop file? I can't remember now. I don't think we did. But before we do that, I'm going to just smooth over the edges of these vines so we don't have any like abrupt. Hello from Finland. Hi, Detective Wee Wee. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Good to meet someone from Finland. I've heard Finland is quite beautiful. How do I know how many raindrops I've got? Vagabond says. Oh, we've got a command here, guys. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to have it as, you know, we've got this little blue banner at the top that changes. I'm going to add that information as a banner, I think. I think that could be quite handy. So you guys know to what the command is to check your raindrops. Thanks, yay. Yay. Oh my goodness, binary ferret. And if you do get over 1,000 raindrops as well, guys, you get to be blue in our Discord too. You get to be a legendary raindrop in Discord. Hi Rose, hi chat, hi Gretch, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Happy Friday, Gretch. Have you completed Final Fantasy 9 yet? I'm excited for you to start Final Fantasy 10, Gretch. 24 raindrops. Oh, that's not too bad already, Vagabond, considering I think you've only known us a week, haven't you? Pretty good. I'm gonna merge these layers now, because it's it's going to be easier to edit these if I merge them. Nothing's on top of each other, so we're good. Because if we put these vines on our cliffs as they are now, we're going to have some problems where it looks a little bit cut off, like too straight, if that makes sense. Especially if we don't put them on the cliff edge. So I'm just trying to make it a little bit less strong, that line. I'm excited for 10 as well. Yay, not yet. Hopefully 1 or 2 more streams and then we'll be finished. Huzzah. Just something about 10. I mean, I'm a big fan of them all. I mean, if someone was to ask me what are my favourite Final Fantasies, I'd tell them 7 original, 10, 8, and 9. Probably in that order. So I tend to go for the golden era. I never played 6, so I can't pick that one because I never really played it. I never gave it a proper go. But I've heard that it is a very good one. And of course, I feel like I need to add 14 in there as well, because 14 is a really solid Final Fantasy. So it's hard to put that one in though, with it being an MMO. Yeah, I like 14. It's so easy for people to maybe dismiss 14 because it's an MMO, but honestly, the story, especially like the later content that they've been doing the last few years. Not so much around Reborn, it's pretty standard story around Reborn as the start, but since the expansions it's really been like a proper good adventure, and Shadowbringers like is up there to me as one of the best Final Fantasy stories, with one of the best antagonists of all time for me. So it's I hope people who haven't considered playing it at least would, because it's so good. Every expansion feels like a full FF game, I know, right? It's I mean, I'm not currently playing it now because, like, unfortunately it can get pricey. If you're not getting much chance to play it, it makes sense to unsub. But I always go back to it when there's a new expansion. Expansions have been good. Which antagonist? Emmett. He's I'm just a bit obsessed. I'm just a little bit obsessed. He's a great antagonist. I think they really went all out with that one. The writers did. Made very, very sympathetic, understandable villain, bad guy, which is very inspiring. You know, and villains don't have to just be. I mean, villains, I think it just proved that villains can be really evil, but sympathetic. It's a really, really challenging one to do, that is make them sympathetic yet clearly evil. But they pulled it off. Because most of the time, evil villains, they're just not sympathetic. We just hate them and want to kill them, right? Because they're evil just for the sake of being evil. But it's really refreshing when you get one that has actually got makes you like question your own morals, because you think, hang on a minute, I like this guy, but he's evil. Oh, goodness. Emmett Sal, yeah, that's it. That's the one, Van. Yeah, I can't spell it. It can be a tricky one to get right. Okay, also we gotta do these ones. These are the ones we need to make sure aren't so blunt, because if we can soften these edges a bit, we might be able to use these more, because otherwise I can't see us using them because they'd look too weird on our cliff with a weird line there. His story is interesting. You actually, yeah, that's what I did. I was like, holy crap, I love the Ascians. Before that, I hated the Ascians. I was like, oh, these guys are just annoying. They're just getting in the way. They're just chaotic evil for the sake of being chaotic evil. And then he turns all that on the head. I was like thinking, oh crap, when I was just playing through Shadowbringers, I mean, I'm going to be very careful not to give spoilers here, because if anyone ever is lurking in the stream that hasn't played it yet and wants to, I would not want to be that person that ruins things. But when I talk about things, I just talk about them unspecifically without details. But yeah, when I was playing through Shadowbringers, I was like thinking, is this weird of me to actually be liking an Ascian so much? I feel weird that I'm liking an Ascian. But then I found out I wasn't the only one, so that made me feel a bit better. Now Xenos, well, he's a totally different animal. Yeah, I mean, so I always respect people's favourite characters if that's who they like, because the favourite characters, I mean, I know someone who's obsessed with Xenos, but he was never my cup of tea as a villain, because he seemed like, to me, evil for the sake of being evil. like just a full-on psychopath for no reason. And I prefer my villains a little bit more fleshed out, with a bit more of a layered and complicated sort of character arc. And I'm back. Oh my god, it's far too warm out there today for full leathers. I know, right? You're in full leathers? Oh my god, didn't it's weather? My goodness me. I think he's obsessed with a certain person, lol. Who's obsessed with who? Xenos is obsessed with someone, yeah. And you know what? I got a bit salty over the fact that Xenos isn't dead yet. Oh my god, spoilers. I'm sorry, guys. I said I would give spoilers. No, I got a bit salty because all the good characters are only in it for a bit, and all the bad ones don't get out your face, and you're stuck with them. And it's like, oh, I want to have good characters in it, please. Yeah. Best FF villain ever is Kefka F6. Yeah, Azrael. He's a really popular one. I remember there was a poll. Apparently there was a poll where Emmett Salk beat Sephiroth as the best all-time FF villain. And people were commenting on the thread saying, a lot of people were very much in agreement. They were saying Emmett Salk is god tier, and you know, so he was getting a lot of praise. But then there was definitely people on that poll saying Kefka's the best, and I think a lot of people were saying Emmett and Kefka are kind of definitely up there as the best ones. I mean, Sephiroth, I'm a Final Fantasy VII fangirl. I mean, I say it's my favourite one, but Emmett's better than Sephiroth. I'm sorry. Sorry, favourite FF game. Oops, LOL, well obsessed with the main character. And also, I like Sephiroth, by the way. I say that. I still think Sephiroth's one of the more solid Final Fantasy villains. Very iconic. But comparing him to Emmett, come on. Emmett wins. Kefka was evil due to insanity. Yeah. I need to play 6 now. Well, when I get time. It's very hard to game. It's very hard to game nowadays because I'm so busy with this, and I personally enjoy creating more than consuming content nowadays, just because I get more joy out of that. But when I ever get a chance, I'll probably play it. Sephiroth is still my favourite. Oh, I insulted Van's favourite. Yeah, I wanted to make it clear that it wasn't a dig. I wasn't hating on Sephiroth, because I want you guys to know that just because I said that Emmett's better than Sephiroth doesn't mean that I think Sephiroth's a bad villain, because far from it. If it wasn't for Emmett Salk, Sephiroth would actually be my favourite FF villain, because he's just so iconic. And because he is a big reason for why it's my favourite Final Fantasy. I mean, when I was a kid and I played Final Fantasy VII, the way they did that, the original Final Fantasy, how they approached it, the mystery behind him, and how we pursued him for most of the Disc 1 segment of the game. To me, that was really well done, and I liked that, and that is why I still like I like the original Final Fantasy and how it was written. I personally don't think it doesn't need to be changed, because it was already perfection. I thought it was really good. I'm still haunted to this day of that section in the Shinra headquarters where there's blood everywhere. When Sephiroth kind of makes his first appearance, but we don't see him. To me, that sticks out still. When I was a kid, that was really, oh my goodness. What? No love for X-Death? And Sephiroth, yes, Kefka does shit because oh god, you made me swear. Don't make me swear. Because he can X-Death as a clear reason for everything he's doing. And it was What Final Fantasy was X-Death in again? Because I need to be reminded of that, because I really didn't play the earlier ones enough. Like, I dabbled in them, I even dabbled in 6, but not enough, and I blame being a bit too young, and sort of not appreciating the old school style enough at that time, because Final Fantasy VII was my first. It was the first PS1 title, so going back felt a bit weird. To the pixel art look, which is really dumb, because the pixel art look of Final Fantasy VI beats the polygons of 7 any day in art style, for sure. But it's just being ignorant as a child, you know, and I think I'd appreciate it now. I think I'd enjoy the old ones. All right, you're a wee bab. Yeah, you are older than me. I wish I was born in the 80s, because then I could have played all these older games I missed out on. Because there was some really cool RPGs I missed out on as well on the PC. Look, you guys mentioned Ultima, didn't you? Because I was a baby. Well, not even born, I think, with that one. Kevko's entertaining, but a terrible villain. He's not in any way relatable. You were playing Final Fantasy 14, Dave, weren't you? But did you get to Shadowbring? Because I remember you telling me that you were playing it. I think you like Emmett Salk, Dave. I think you've got the intelligence for sure to appreciate such a well-written villain. Someone once was like, "Oh, I hate Emmett Salk," and I knew instantly that they were a dude bro, because only dude bros would hate him. FF5 didn't get a Western release, so you didn't miss it, because didn't it even get released in the West? My goodness, that's shocking. Oh my goodness, 18 rate. Oh my goodness, you're in the top 1,000, sort of, you know. It might seem like way down in the leaderboard, but believe me, it's good. Considering this is your second stream here, that's pretty impressive. Dude bro, man bro at your service. You're not a dude bro, are you, sort of? No way. Never would have guessed. Still haven't bought any expansions. I stopped after Heaven. Or did you? What did you think of Heaven's Sword, David? Did you get burnt out, or wasn't it your jam? I mean, I personally thought the improvement, the improvement in content was just a real step up when Heaven's Sword started. And it just got better and better from that point on, I feel, for sure. No, I am not. I was gonna say, dude bros don't come to my stream anyway, really. And Western releases for Final Fantasy when 1, 4, 6, 7, 4 and 6 were even labelled as Final Fantasy 2 and Final Fantasy 3 in the West. Yeah, that's kind of confusing, isn't it? I know 6 was called 3 or something for some regions. Heaven's Sword was wonderful, just didn't have the time. I barely have time to keep up with Warframe with my boyfriend. Oh my god, so you didn't finish it. I hope you one day finish it though, Dave, because it's so good. It gets so good. A lot of people get burnt out come around Reborn because there's so many quests and it's so long, and Realm Reborn's kind of really, it's very filler. So a lot of people kind of give up before it even starts getting good. And possibly an undercover dude bro, maybe. I'm okay if you're a dude bro, as long as you're a nice dude bro. That's the rules. They are fixing that in upcoming patches. Yeah, they're going to cut out a lot of the quests, aren't they? So I've heard. I didn't get burnt out on a Realm Reborn because that was all I had. I wasn't trying to burn through to get more content. I was playing the content that I owned. Oh, right. I still think a Realm Reborn's a solid MMO, though it's still better than most MMOs out there. even around Reborn. Still enjoyable. When I hear Dude Bro, I always think of Last Train to Awesome Town by Parry Grip. Really? I don't even know what that is, Muffin Mansion. I'm going to have to Google and then I'll understand the reference. You'll soon be able to fly in the Realm Reborns, and that is so badass. That is so cool, honestly. Because the Realm Reborn maps are quite small, aren't they? They're not layered like the later ones, so I wonder how that's going to be. Interesting. Okay, so I think we're good. I think we've if I need to make it even better, I can always do that. But I think for now, those vines are going to be fine. I appreciate that you're taking a moment to proofread so you don't read out any more swearing from me. You made me accidentally do it. I'm such an innocent being. What am I like, guys? I'm probably the only person on the whole of Twitch that doesn't swear, aren't I? It's a goofy, silly song. I'm curious now, super curious. Okay, so let's get these vines down. I want to see how one of these big ones look, so we'll get TileD back up now. Because on our old maps, like where the cut-off point was, we'd like have it there or something, and I don't know, that's probably not going to work. It still, to me, looks a little bit random there. But yeah, it's going to be hard to fit those ones in unless we do them at the bottom of cliffs like this. That could actually look very pretty. I think we could go for things like that. Ooh, for sure. But for like the rest of the cliffs, probably better going for some of the thin ones that maybe won't look so weird halfway down the cliff, like that or something. How did we do it on the original? Yeah, look how weird it looks now, the vines, because we put them all there because you'd only see them like that when you walked across the path. But, you know, it's nice to think of the map as a whole rather than only the bits as you, the player, will see, because you never know. You never know if you're ever going to get down there on a ladder or something later in the game. So it's probably smarter to do it and at least consider that. Why is it so warm? We can't, in Britain, we cannot cope in the heat, okay? Whose idea was it to make it so hot? Because we're not built for it here. We're simply not. Okay, so where are we going to start? We got so many cliffs, and I feel like starting in the first map, Less Cascade, and progressing to the others is probably best. So I don't think I'm going to just copy out how it was done on the other maps. Actually, I'm going to just start fresh and put them wherever we think will be good. In fact, I might do a vine at a time. I know, actually, it's a tough one, thinking how to do them, but I think we can just do whatever we want. But I'm thinking, so we got different colours here. We got yellow, green and red, haven't we? Because National Mars had an idea last stream that certain zones could sort of have more of a certain colour, specifically the cave section. We've still got to add the cave here as well. Could have more white flowers than coloured, and I thought that would be a sort of nice touch because, yeah, I think that having it change a little bit, the environment could be quite cool. So maybe I don't want to do it randomly. I don't want to just put the vines down on a random mountain. I want to do it in an organised way. So we'll start here. I think the red and the green ones, I think I'm gonna do it that way actually, and use the more like plain coloured ones as we get closer to the cave. Yeah, that vine covers up the flower. Doesn't look too chopped off if I do that, does it? It might do though. I think that's fine. I was thinking, does that work to double it up? But then you know, because then you can see that that bit gets chopped off. Also, guys, I'm going to put a trivia in chat soon. I've just realised we haven't done one today. So trivia time soon. I think Van's still leading the leaderboard. So, yeah, I was just having to mess about, but how did we do it on these? Yeah, we still got the cliff jutting thing to do actually, and I was thinking of doing the vines before that, but actually it might be smarter to do them first because then we know where the vines don't have to go. So, because at the moment I'm not satisfied with how it looks, so we're going to do a new nicer looking one. And really I think the small cliff thing, the vines and the flowers are really the last layers that we'll need, apart from, you know, the obvious things like the windows and doors and any little extra details in Lakefall that of course will go there, and the cave thing and any ladders. So yeah, we're making progress. Right, so let's just do that one because I think that'll be a good one to do first before the vines actually. How are we going to do this? How are we going to approach doing this? Because this is what they look like at the moment, which no, it's not. it could have always been better than that. And we're going to have to change it anyway because the cliffs no longer match. So they look a bit horrible zoomed in, but they don't look as bad in game on the sort of zoom level in game. So, but still no excuse. We still want it to look pretty zoomed in. So I'm going to just put these here for now, just so we can design our new one around them somewhat. And there was just the two, a big and a small one. In fact, I'm gonna take these on the cliff tile set rather than this one. I think they'll be better on that one. Rose, hello to you. Hi, Drakeetas, how you doing? Welcome. I hope you're having a good Friday. Drakeetas. Thanks for stopping by. How are you today? I'm out for today, everyone. Have a beautiful day. Take care, Muffin Man. So thanks for hanging out with us and have a good weekend. Have a good one. So where is our tile set hiding? Here it is. So this is the tile sheet we're using for the cliffs and like any structures or buildings. So it makes sense to do our little rocks on this one rather than the flower tile set, I think. So it might not look exactly the same, the new version we do, but as long as it looks better, that's the goal. Doing well. How's Rose? I'm doing decently. It's very hot, I'm not gonna lie. In the UK we're having a really hot day, and I like it a little bit cooler. But I'm managing. Have a good one, Zava says. I still really love how we've got a Zava and Dava in chat. I think that's so awesome. Okay, so my first idea to do this, what we're doing at the moment, guys, is we're making prettier versions of these two little rocks here, because they were always a little bit rough around the edges, so we're gonna make them better. Okay, so I'm gonna take this and make it smaller, I think. Let's see if we can do that. Okay, so split them in half. And they're on two separate layers, and I'm planning to match this up so it's seamless, just to make it a bit small. Let's see if this works. Is this the edge bit? We gotta make sure it matches up. This is the thing. Okay, so apparently that's the part where it matches. It's going to be weird there, but we can easily fix that. We've got a bit of a soft brush here, so I'm going to harden it. Okay, I'm going to put a trivia in chat, everybody. So, If you want to join in, the Law Bible's here, guys. That is, we tried to keep all trivia questions, the answers somewhere on the Law Bible. So, exclamation mark trivia. Trivia question time. Which fruit wears a monocle? Certain questions keep popping up and others that I've put in aren't showing up. But as we get more and more in our text file, we should at least have some different ones. I hope. A plum. Yay. You got it, Van. Points, Van Delia. 1. Vandalia was not found. There. GG, Van. You are fast. Super fast. Who's that? I've never heard of any Vad before. Don't want to delete that. Yeah, just keep it like that for now. We'll smooth the edges over in a bit. We'll work on this bit now. This is probably the best way of doing it, seeming as I'm no artist and I'm not going to be doing it myself. Okay, well, it's going to work best to do it this way, but we might need to tidy up somewhat in certain sections if it's a little bit weird. Okay, as for grass, I mean, we have like, let's see what it'll look like if we just put that square underneath. I think something like that could work. We just need to tidy it up because it looks a bit pointy at the moment. So we want it to be a shape that's easy on the eye at least. So I'm going to attempt to overlay parts of the cliff. I'll have to, I mean, that smooths it over much more, but we've got to make sure it's okay. It's just yeah, there's a few pixels we need to make sure are filled in. But I think something like that could work. We need to make it an even smaller, maybe? I don't know. To be honest, we could even use this one. I don't think we'd even use that one. We'll have to see how they look. Okay, so I'm going to fill in the pixels, and just so I've got something to compare it to, I'm going to just put this to the side and grab any colours. Actually, where's this layer hiding? There it is. We'll try this first because this might make it easier. Where's the repeated pattern line? Is this it? Actually can't even see it. I've copied and pasted the wrong part. Yeah, I can't even see the repeated pattern in that bit. Maybe I'm just blind. Okay, it's there. Don't know if this will help, but we'll see. It's to me easier to just grab, copy and paste bits from the existing tiles rather than recolour the whole thing ourselves. I don't know, I don't think that solved anything at all though, so we'll probably have to do some recolouring ourselves because the pattern is too low. I need to get my fan on if it starts getting any warmer next week, you know, because not gonna lie, my hair's soaking wet, pretty gross. That's how hot it is. I'm gonna check how hot it actually is. What the weather is. It's 31 degrees Celsius, guys, here right now. Now, that's hot for me, so maybe some of you might think that's not that hot, but it is. It is for someone like me. Right now, it's in the 75 degrees here. Yeah, what's that in what's 31 in Fahrenheit? Do you mean Fahrenheit, don't you, Van? By 79, not Celsius, I'm assuming. My goodness, if it was Celsius, I'd cry for you. Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, okay, so I've converted it to Fahrenheit and it's 87, well, 88 degrees Fahrenheit here right now, to be exact. So, yeah, it's very warm. Okay, so this is gonna be interesting. In fact, you know, I'm still going to grab this. I can't be bothered to draw it myself. So, there you go. I'm just going to go around anything that isn't a repeat pattern and then fill it in. I mean, this, you know, we don't have to be as rigid about this repeating anyway, because it's not going to be used as a repeated tile. So as long as it looks nice, that's all that matters. And doesn't look stupid, and I think that looks okay. We need to fill in a couple of extra pixels here, so let's do that. Not too bad. Yeah, it's not gonna look much like our old version, but I think it's just better if we veer away from that kind of look a bit and go for more like a miniature version of what's here. I think this needs rounding out a bit though, because we don't want these little bits at the bottom anymore, because it's not going to be on the ground, it's going to be in the air. So I'm going to actually merge these layers together. I think that's fine to do now. So I think it's going to pay for it to be a little bit smoother, but we might not want it to be blurred at the edges though. I don't know. So I'm going to do it like this instead. Yeah, I want to try and get it rounded if possible, so that it's kind of matches with the shape that's here. We'll try and do that if possible. Like this curve here, I kind of want to resemble that. It doesn't have to be symmetrical though, so I'm not going to fuss too much there. Might need to fit in a few pixels though. frog, 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 frog. It's the frog now. I think I want to smooth those edges a bit. I'm not sure I'm too fond of the blunt edges, so I am gonna just create a bit of more. We might need to have some sort of gradient on there though to give the illusion it's protruding like the original one does. Because at the moment I don't think there's a shadow of any kind. I think if we do that it might look okay, because if we look at these ones they're a lot more messy looking, but they are darker at the bottom to give that illusion that it's sort of protruding. So we can try that. I'm also going to delete that now because we don't need it. Right. Gradient tool. Let's have a play around with this. Not that way. Yeah, I probably want it more like that. We'll try that, but obviously we're going to sort out the transparency. Make it. Might be a little bit, we might need to change the gradient a bit because it might be we might want a bit of a shorter gradient maybe. Also, it might be a bit long, this cliff, I don't know. But it might actually be okay. I'm wondering what it'd look like a little bit shorter. So I'm actually gonna copy, I'm gonna keep that one because we don't want to delete that one, we might still want it. I'm gonna see what a slightly shorter one looks like too. Hi National and hi Cogito. I was going to say Cognito because that's the name of something I'm familiar with, but Cogito. Love your accent. Are you scarce? No, I'm not. I'm a little bit more south than Liverpool. So yeah, so I'm a little tiny bit more south than that, should I say? Well, not tiny, but yeah, I'm about 3 hours away from Liverpool, so it's not too tiny. But how are you doing, Cogito? Thanks for hanging out. It's good to meet you. Hope you're having a good Friday. And thank you for the kind words. And how are you doing, National, as well? I hope you're having a wonderful day. We are. Okay, so I think I've got a slightly easier way to deal with this. I'm going to experiment. We are doing the finishing touches to our improved map of Everbloom Forest at the moment, doing all the extra details on the cliffs like the vines and the little jutting out smaller cliffs, all those things that just add to it and make it look a little bit more real. So we're just spending time on improving those cliffs rather than having these old manky versions that we used to have. I mean, look at the edges on that one and look how blurry it is. So, yeah, if we do that, then that. Select inverse. There. Now we can get the same shape, just a shorter version of it. Oops. Deleted, but we shouldn't have. Okay, so there we go. I'll have a bigger brush. There we go. And now we can delete that because that was only there as a guide. So yeah, I want to get another gradient on those two as well, just to create a bit more. Because I do like how there is like a darker part underneath these to give that illusion. And I want to try this bigger one actually. Oh no, I don't know actually, because this big one's used for something else. So yeah, maybe we'll leave that one. If we want to create a big one, we'll have to do that separately. Or copy and paste it and edit it. But we'll try with the small ones for now, just a test, just to see what they do look like up on the map. So I'm gonna do this, try that gradient again, because it didn't work out exactly as I wanted the first time. Try it again. Good, yay! I'm doing good. Got a bit of coffee to tuning into the stream. How's yourself, Rose? Very hot, as in boiling, because it's really very warm in England today. So very, very sweaty right now. I need a fan. But my fan's very noisy, that's the problem though. You'd hear it super loud, but we might have to do it next week if it's still this warm. We'll have to see, won't we, chat? Okay, so let's lower. Here we go. I don't think we use a blending mode. I think we actually just recolored it a bit. So selective color, because we have a shadow on the edge of this cliff here, like it's very subtle. And it's not a black shadow, it's more like a brown shadow. So might be hard to get the exact same colour, but we'll see. Might need to make it a touch darker again. We can always adjust it if necessary, but we also have to delete the... Okay, so let's just... Okay, wrong way. Select inverse. No, we don't want to delete on that one. We're going to have to merge those two cliffs because merge. Do you have anything cool or colder? Do you press the palms of your hands against it and you'll cool off a bit? I have my water, but my room is that warm that the water's warm now. So I'll manage. You gotta just push through it, haven't you? Hi Rod, how you doing? I'm warm, that's how I am. Well, hot. How are you? Is it warm where you guys are today? I have an ice cream after. That'll be my reward. There we go. So kind of deleted that extra bit of gradient you don't need. I can probably tidy that up a bit better later, but we'll see how these look. I mean, they might look bad and we might need to edit them further, but we'll see for now how they look if we save the tile set and we'll put them in TileD on our map and see how they look. Okay, so we're back. So originally we had this on there, so let's put oh no, I've done a silly thing. I've accidentally, oh no I didn't, I thought I accidentally left the background non-transparent, but it's all good. I didn't do that, so let's get rid of that and put that there. Okay, so the shadow is not exactly how we intended, but I think the area, the green bit, can be a bit smaller, to be honest. I don't think we need it to be as long as it is. I think we got the look right, though. It's just the shadow that's a bit wrong. I think we did it a little bit wrong. I think with a bit of work, it could work as our new cliffs. Just a few little changes. So back to Photoshop. Oh, unfortunately, just checking in to make sure stuff is all right. Any plans for the weekend? Probably just chilling and same old stuff. Working on getting this map finished. I'd like to show this off for Screenshot Saturday tomorrow. We'll have to see how it goes. Whether if I get it done in time. But probably won't get the whole map done, but I can always just show a portion of it off for Screenshot Saturday that has been done, I guess. That might work. So make sure you're following on the Twitter, guys, if you don't want to miss that, because it'll get posted on there. Just gonna have a bit of water. Okay, so first step is, did I delete the extra? I deleted that because I felt like we didn't want the green area to be so long. I mean, we could even cut it down a little bit more if we wanted to, but we'll get the shadow done first. Okay, so I think what it is, there's too much shadow. That's what it is. We need it to just be literally at the bottom. And a bit more round, like how that one looks. Because one thing I did get right on those is the shadow. Even though it looks messy, the shadow is right. So let's do it again. It might be a bit more of a radial gradient. Maybe that's what's going wrong. Stay cool, hopefully, and maybe safe. Right, thank you, Rod. National and Gretch. Have you been catching Gretch's Final Fantasy journey, National? She's making good progress, isn't she? very fast, much faster than I'd be playing those games because I'm slow. I'm very slow at playing games. Let's try radial gradient. I think that could work. We just need to do it a bit differently. So let's work on this one first. There we go. Got that area covered. So if we decide, I've got a plan. So if we do that, and we'll do these at the same time actually. So we'll do the same for this one. Okay, so I'm going to delete the top. I need a more, yeah, I need it to blend better, so let's do that. Now, I might have accidentally deleted too much though. Yeah, let's go back. It's quite a strong shadow, really. I think if we delete these corners, then it'll look a bit better. So it's not the most tidy. Yes, although I missed the most recent portion after we started to talk with Kuja, spending time in his room, saw the inside of his castle. We're about to start the final dungeon. Kuja will finally get the punch in the face he so desperately deserves. I know, right? Never was, like, we were talking about villains earlier, those that weren't in the stream earlier. We were discussing Final Fantasy villains, actually, and the ones we like. So it's pretty much on topic. No, this isn't. Kuja was one I was never mad about, I have to say. I was never too fond of him. I thought he was a big meanie poo, but yeah. But which Final Fantasy villains, Gretchen National, are you fond of? And I'm sorry any Kuja fans if I've upset you with my confession. Don't know if we've got any in this stream. Okay, so that's a pretty strong shadow we got there. I do want to edit the colouring of it a bit so it's not so black. But I think we do need somewhat of a strong shadow. It's probably too strong in all honesty. Let's lower that a bit more. That might be better. I'm really hoping that'll look better now. I'm actually going to save it and look. It still needs a bit of an edit, but I think we're getting a bit closer now to how we want the cliffs to look. So back to tiled. Okay, so I've got another plan. Because there's one thing that I think isn't right that's sticking out to me about this. And I think it's that it's too smooth, it's too rounded, the cliff bottom. And it looks weird with the shadow though when it's so round. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to hide the shadow for now. I'm going to instead probably approach doing the cliff like this, like having rock bits taken out so it's a little bit more rough, but let's just harden the brush first of all, and let's hide tiled so we can do this, but this is really our last real challenge of this map now, because once we've done these rocks, all we got to do at that point is put all the rocks and the vines and the flowers in position, scatter them over the map, and that's just mindless work really, although I do like to consider the positioning so it isn't that mindless. But yeah, once that's done, yeah, we're doing good, guys. I might be deleting too much rock, but I kind of want to just do an experiment to see how it will look if there's a bit of rock taken away and it's a bit more lumpy. I find Kuja insufferable. LOL, Gretch, that's funny. See, I was trying to put it really politely when I says I wasn't a fan, but you put it exactly, happens to be. Let's say hi to Master Cram first before we catch up with chat. How you doing? Is this an online game? It isn't. It's a single player 2D RPG. So it will be. It's more about building a world and a story of a single player experience. So yes, and let's catch up with chat. I hope you're doing well though, Master. Welcome to the stream. I love both Sephiroth as well as Adair from 8, even though she spoiler happens too late that Kuja reveals his secret for us to click with it. Yeah, I never clicked with it. I never clicked with it either, to be honest. I was just like meh with the Kuja reveal, because I was never like that into him anyway, and it didn't change my mind either, anything about him that we found out. Rumble with the Sorceress Rock, such a good tile set you've made for the area. Yay! Thank you, National. Appreciate it. I'm just thinking what rock should we delete now? Let's just zoom out a bit. I think it might look a bit better with the rocks, some of the rocks deleted. The smooth edge is just not working out, but I also don't want it to look weird either, so we might need to make some of the rocks a little bit smaller at the bottom just so they're not jutting out too much. We'll see. It's about experimenting. And maybe the edges are a bit too smooth as well, because I don't know. Let's just first of all, let's just save and say, because I kind of wondering about this visual direction first and seeing how it looks before I make up my mind. So at the moment we can't even see because we don't even have the shadow on there. So let's add the shadow first. Just invisible. I didn't expect to like the Queen as much as I did. She ended up being a lot of heart and excitement in the story. Who the first? Oh, you mean in 9? I thought you were. Yeah, I was thinking of another Queen then. Yeah, she. I did feel some sort of sympathy for that one in her part. I agree. I prefer her to Kuja. That's for sure. Curious if anyone ever did like Kuja though. Wonder if anyone did. Okay, so let's make the tolerance a bit more. That's strange. It's still showing tiled for you guys. That's good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just roughly just do this for now, because I'm just doing this rough right now to just see how it looks visually, because it can be very hard to know until you look and tiled. I don't like how it looks here though, I have to say right now. It's going to get changed a little bit more. I think sort of in between. We don't want it to be too smooth and rounded, but we don't want it to be too lumpy either, so I'm going to try and do it more in between than that. Yeah, I know, yeah, I don't know about that one, but it was worth a test just to see anyway. So let's just go back to the smooth one again. Oh no, it's deleted. Okay, no worries, because I was thinking of making the cliff a bit shorter anyway, so what we can do is something like that might work a bit better actually, because it's not so lumpy then. Put another trivia in chat in a few minutes, by the way, guys, because they're fun. Yeah, that's a slightly better cliff that's not so rounded at the edges. A little bit better. I think we gotta get that gradient like sorted as well, because the shadow's a bit weird. I'm also thinking the edges are a bit smooth as well, so I'm gonna just try and just do this. But yeah, guys, we've made progress with this map, and we're getting towards the finalising the map at this point. So by the end of the weekend, we could be very close to getting it finished. And I'm not sure how many more map improvement streams we'll have now, because I know we've got collision stuff to work on and all the stuff that comes after the map's done, like the implementing side of things, but making sure the new map and all the events and that are on this new map and working the enemies and all that setup thing has to be done. But as for the asset side of things, that will mostly, well, I'd say that would be very close to being done soon. And like I says, we might have more Lore Bible streams next week where we get more character profiles done. Something I'm actually tempted to try is I'm going to get a screenshot of the cliff, guys, in TileD and put it as the background. So let's just delete that, because that's not even on the right layer, it's on the vines layer. I'm going to take a screenshot. I think this will be cool, and I'm going to put it in the background so we can actually see then how the asset looks against the cliff. It looks cool at the bottom, like portions have fallen over time during storms. Yeah, that's why I kind of had the thought, National. I agree with you. I was like, you know, having it be all smooth at the bottom felt a bit too perfect for a forest that's been lived in and been there for some time. So I'm definitely with you on that thought. I think having a slightly more lumpy cliff could work out well. So I'm going to get that in the background just temporarily while we work on the asset. Put it in the background. I'm going to move these ones up just so we can see for testing purposes how they look, so that we don't get distracted by other elements on the tile. So in fact, what I am going to do, I think would be a cool thing, we'll put these on a separate layer for now. We'll hide those. We'll put these on a separate layer. Also, I think we got a bad quality image of our cliffs that wasn't at the right zoom level. Silly me. So let me get a proper good image of our cliffs and do it again. So copy and paste. There we go. That's a much better one. So I'm just hiding the tiles, the rest of the tile set right now, because I think it's going to just help a lot more to see it against the cliff, and it'll be easier to do the shadow then as well. And I'll just put that one just a tile set away from it. Because right now it's the shadow, you know, it's quite invisible. You can barely see the cliff part of that. So we need to definitely work on that gradient, and I think the gradient's all the way. I don't know where it's gone, but we'll start it again. I think we need to anyway. What stops you from cutting out the old portion from the parallax map? I'm not a fan of it. I think the quality of it's bad. And the cliff doesn't match as well, because we changed our cliffs. They're a little bit different. It's very subtle difference, but the quality of the cliffs is a lot more better and seamless now compared to the old cliffs. So it's just a bit, I wasn't fond of the visual look of it, so we're kind of redesigning them so that it blends more with our new cliffs. So that's, I mean, one thing I did like about those old cliff bits was the shadow part. I did that bit right, so it's just replicating that. But yeah, if I just copied and pasted that, the cliffs wouldn't match. I'll do this one first, and if we know it works on this one, then we can just do the same to the other one. So that sort of works, but it's just the colour, isn't it? It's a little bit dark. We need to make sure the colour's more brown rather than black. So, but we get in there. I've zoomed out a bit just so we can see it far out, but I might want to try it zoomed in as well soon, just so we can make sure. I think we're getting closer. Let's get rid of the grid though, because it's quite distracting. Also, we need to delete the shadow part on the grass. We can also just, it's a little bit pointy on those corners, so we can always tidy that up too. I think it's getting there. Just tidying up at this point. So if we get a soft brush and do that, then it's the corners aren't as pointy. Can you lighten the bit at the bottom? It may look like a shadow because of the colour of the surrounding cliff. Oh, that's a good idea, to actually lighten it rather than put a shadow there. That might, who knows, maybe that could be better. So let's just try that out as well. Let's just zoom in. We need to make sure we get the right colour part though, so yeah, I don't know if selective colour will work for that. We'll try doing it with levels. Yeah, we got to, as long as we can get the saturation still when we lighten it, we're all good. We don't want it to start looking washed out or anything, so that's the challenge of making it lighter. I mean, I think we still need the shadow, but I don't think it would hurt to make it a touch lighter in general anyway, come to think of it. So we might want to do both. So let's have a mess around. I'm going to go back to selective colour. Hi, Get. I'm trying to work out what your name says. I cannot make... Yeah, you're a bot, aren't you? Goodbye. As soon as my Twitch title went in there, I knew that one was a bot. Okay, so trivia question, guys. Let's get it in. Trivia question time. What is the name of Carol's son? Oh my goodness. What could it be? Oliver. Oh my god, Van. I love it. I love how you're doing so well. It's awesome. So, points. Van. Delia 1. I thought that one might, you know, I wasn't sure whether that trivia would be answered fast, but you were right there, and it's great. Love it. Okay, 14. 14 points to Van now. Okay, so yeah, I honestly think yeah, it might be cool to lighten it, and I think it could set it off even more if we do that. Maybe we should, instead of the shadow being black, maybe it should be light. Maybe. Because it's true in a way. When you think about it, if something that's sticking out would have light on it rather than shadow, right? That makes more sense to have it lighter rather than darker. So I'm actually going to recolour the shadow. Just don't want it to be white, obviously. We want it to be... It's one of those things where you got to get the colour just right for it to look right. It's a tricky one. And yeah, we don't want to lose, we don't want it to look desaturated or anything. So this is interesting, but we can always put a blending mode on it. Maybe that'll solve that problem. We don't want it to look oversaturated or under. It's been a silly for us at the moment. It's not giving us any of the colours that we want. I mean, that one's close, but it's far too light. Far too white, should I say. If it was more of a light brown, then yeah. So hello there, hi Zoyas, how you doing? It's good to see you. I hope you're having a good day. Happy Friday. I memorise this stuff. Yeah, you do. You've been reading that law Bible, Van. Definitely can tell that. Won't be around the next week, Rose, taking the kids to Butlins before we end up in another lockdown. Oh, that's nice, Azrael. You will be missed, but I'm very glad that you're going to be going on a fun trip. That sounds like lots of fun. You'll tell us how it goes, yeah? And hi, Careless Handsome, how you doing? Maybe add yellow instead of white. We're close, I feel like. Yeah, I feel like we are. And part of me thinks we still might need the shadow, though. It's hard to tell, to give the illusion of the cliff sort of rounding off at the bottom a bit. So we might need the light. We still might need the shadow as well. It's an interesting one. Hi Mia, how you doing as well? It's good to see you. How goes development? We're doing all right. We've been improving the map the past week of our forest, and we're at the point now that we're on the last details, like cliff decorations and things. So when the weekend's finished, might be very close to getting it done. And that'll be cool. That'll be awesome. How are you though, Mia? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Did you know that Rexy met me when I was doing a dumb ukulele charity stream? When was the charity stream, Mia? When was this? That sounds funny. Was that when you guys met for the first time? And still remember, I think he threw a dono to the charity and I was grateful because not many had. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I've only ever done one charity stream. And I still remember today, I mean, it was years ago now when I did that charity stream, about 2 years ago. I still remember today the people that donated, because you do, don't you? You think, you get nervous. You're like, oh my goodness, is anyone going to donate to the charity? So when someone does, it means the world. And it was a while ago, I remember that. So I know the feels, Mia, because I was the same way when I did mine. I was like, and yeah, I still remember the ones that did. 2017, those were the days. Those were the days, weren't they? I hope you're having a good Friday though, Mia and Rex. Okay, so back to the cliff. It'd be super cool if we can get this cliff done before the end of stream, but I don't know. I'm gonna go back to when it had a shadow actually, because I want to keep that. I want to keep the shadow. I don't want to get rid of it, so I think we still need it, but I do think the cliff does need lightening up as well. So, and I think we'll have it perfect then. So I don't think the shadow needs to be too strong. So yeah, we're just working on cliff decorations. We've got some vines together, and we putting them on the cliffs will be the easy part. This is the hard bit, getting this cliff little things done, because they'll go over the cliffs and in just random areas when it's done. And the goal is to get it looking better than this one, because this one it's a bit pixelated and blurry, to be quite honest. And because we're using different cliffs now, we can't just copy and paste that one anyway, because the cliff pattern's different now. We've kept the same colour, but we've checked the pattern's a lot nicer and more seamless now. So yeah, and yeah, you guys are awesome. Happy to call you friends. I know, Mia, I really appreciate all the kind words you've given me recently too, and I hope you know the feeling's very mutual. More sushi. I know, I want sushi. I haven't had sushi for the whole of 2020. I wish I could, because I miss it so much. More sushi. How are you doing, Oracle? It's good to see you. Hope you're having a wonderful day. How is it going? Oh my god, how is it already nearly the end of stream? I thought it was like 4:30 or verging on 5 o'clock. I didn't think it was nearly 6 o'clock. We will have another trivia before the end of the stream. I didn't realise it was this close to the end. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to grab this cleft bit here, and we'll try and lighten it. I'm messing about in the selective colour in Photoshop to do it, and it can be a little bit of a challenge to do that sometimes, because sometimes the colour really gets messed up, like that for example. I've tried to lighten it, but it just desaturates the thing, so it's but honestly, selective colour is my favourite, because once you do get it right, it looks good. But it's getting it. That's the thing. I'm actually gonna make the shadow look darker for now while I do this. Who would have thought? I suppose it's because I'm no artist. I'm definitely no environment artist either. So achieving the sort of look you want can be a challenge, and I'm the sort of person as well that's not like, I'll never just be like, that'll do. I always try to at least make it look decent. Just woke up. Oh my goodness, what time did you go to sleep? Were you a night owl last night, Mia? Stayed up all night raging at Fall Guys not working. Oh, yeah, because the server's right. It's because so many people are playing it that, you know, it can't keep up, which is to be expected. It's absolutely blown up, and it was only meant to be a small game by an indie studio. So, but it's fantastic. I think it's so good to see a game like that do well, and they're local as well. So I believe that there is the dev team that work on it are local. So one of their studios is a local one. To me, I actually did placements there years and years ago, not at the actual place, but in other studios in that city. So and I think it could use an alpha grading. Maybe it's so it's dark at the top, fading into a lighter shadow. Yeah, I might need a reference image actually. That could help a lot if I can find a reference image of like something similar, because I'm a visual person and it always helps a lot more to actually see something as a reference, or the opposite way around. Yeah, because at the moment it's medium dark at the top but really dark at the bottom, and just looking at it I can tell that something's slightly up with it and it's not exactly right. You know, when you like look at something and you're like, something needs changing, but you can't put your finger on what it is. That's kind of what I've been going through the last portion of the stream. So maybe you've got a point, Mia, but I still want to find some reference image at some point. Mia Rex, Dava, more sun hitting at the top. Yep, reference is always good. Yes, that's what I think I'm going to do, because it's the weekend now and I'm going to be I've put that there in the background just to see how it looks against the cliff, because it's a lot easier to work like that, rather than just have it against the transparent background, because you don't have a clue what it's going to look like then until you save it and look in the editor. So that this helps, having that in the background. But I'm going to have a mess about with it then over the weekend, as well as get all the vines in, all the rest of the flowers in. So if you have a look, guys, this is what we got so far. And there's just a few little extra bits to add as well, like the ladder down here and things. So there's a lot of cliffs, a lot of grass that these vines and flowers need to get put on, so it's going to take a bit of time, but we'll get there. And once that's done, we will be getting really close to getting it finished. And I'm really glad we're already on the final detail section, and we've done all the hard stuff. Burn sponge tool to lighten it gradually. That's actually how I did the last one. National, I remember now that I did this cliff with the burn tool. I think that can be a great tool, but at the same time I get frightened that it'll oversaturate it or desaturate it too much, but it could definitely be possible. I'm gonna have a mess around anyway and see what we can do. We'll get it looking better. It's pretty. And once the vines are in, are you going to start installing the TikToks? Is that a pun, Dave, that I haven't got? Oh, I get it now, because Vine's an app and so is TikTok. They're both video apps, aren't they? I get it now. I'm just a bit slow sometimes. Yeah. And, okay, so I'm going to get a trivia in the stream before we finish, and then we'll have had 3 trivias today then. It likes this question a lot as well. This one comes up a lot too. So I need to get more questions in, so we don't get the same ones all the time. But we'll get, over time, we'll get more. Fiona Buckington, then you are kicking butt. You're kicking butt at the trivia. Okay. So at the end of August, we'll have a new Lore Master in the Discord channel, guys. I'm excited to see what that'll be. I'm paying attention. Yay. Yay. Okay, guys. So, thanks for hanging out down for the chat. So I'm going to go on the Twitch and see if there is anyone on for us today. I'm looking forward to next week's streams and having more of the forest to show you guys. But yes, I can see us being close to the end of this map improvement stuff next week, and we'll be implementing it and getting it working in game, getting all the region collision stuff set up and everything like that. And we'll probably do some more Lore Bible stuff as well, because I really want to get more profiles in. Okay. Fun stream as always. Oh, thank you. So, raid ! I have got a few friends on, and Kate is on. I see Kate is on. We haven't said hi to Katie in a while. I haven't said hi to Katie in a bit anyway, and she's always been really nice to me as well. So, I like to send the love over to nice people, nice friendos. So, ! raid, let's say hi. She, at the moment, is doing just chatting, so let's see what she's up to. Nice people are the best, I know, right? But, like, you know when people are nice, but it's just, like, genuinely nice? There's no, like... it's not forced. That's the best kind of nice, and Katie is definitely that. So there we go. I'll see you guys on Monday, and have a good weekend. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, has it not worked? I think I've put the wrong name in. I cannot type. Yeah, I missed an S off. Typical. So I'll see you guys See you guys on Monday. Thanks for hanging out. You're the best. Appreciate you all.